Hi, everyone. This is Rita Denoyer Garcia of Becoming Awake YouTube channel, the Calm Mom Alliance Facebook group. And I'm here to talk to you about making great decisions. So this is a free masterclass, and it's obviously being recorded now. Otherwise, you wouldn't be watching it. And we're going to be talking about some of the strategies that I have used and discovered that really help me make great decisions that I feel good about. And that I feel empowered in my life about not feeling insecure or second guessing myself all the time. So I wanted to start off with just saying this, that the vast majority of decisions we make are made based on our emotions. And I know there are going to be many of you out there who say something like, but I'm a very logical person and I am very careful about how I make decisions, and they always have a reason behind them. And I'm not saying there aren't reasons behind your decisions. What I'm saying is that the way our brain works, we usually make decisions based on an emotion, and then we use our logic, a rationale to back it up. So in other words, we may buy a house based on how we feel about the house and then come up with all of these different reasons that sound very logical for why we're buying the house. And I'm sure you can think of a decision you've made, maybe even today, where you thought, yeah, I guess that was kind of based on emotion. And there's nothing wrong with that, by the way, basing your decisions on emotions. This is just the way we work. But I just want to say that because what we're going to be addressing today in this mastermind is around emotions more than logic, because we're always going to be able to come up with logic for why we make our emotions. But if we don't know how we're feeling about things and where we're starting from emotionally, a lot of times that can get us into trouble or make us feel bad about our decisions. And we don't want to necessarily feel that way. So I just wanted to put that out there. My second point is that in terms of emotions, usually we're making decisions either on fear or love. So, and fear is usually the dominant one, unfortunately. I'm not saying that you don't make decisions based on love or you don't make decisions based on other emotions, but a lot of time our decisions, especially the ones that we keep seeing, we kind of make the same decision over and over again, and they don't necessarily make sense to us or feel good to us, is usually based on some sort of fear. And that fear usually comes from something from our childhood. So for instance, maybe you make a lot of decisions about what you drink and eat, not based on logic all the time, but based on what you grew up with. Like my mom always drank coffee. I always drink coffee. When I have a choice between what I'm going to drink in the morning, I drink coffee, for instance. It's almost like there is no choice. It's very habituated. So that's the other thing I want to say about making decisions, is that not only are they a lot of times based on our childhood, whether that's a good childhood or not such a great childhood, but what worked for us in childhood, we also become very habituated in our decision making. So we either make decisions based on the same emotions, or we do it in the same way. It's all what kind of worked for us in the past, or what helped us survive things, or things that we put in place because of things that happened to us in our childhood. So I just want to put that all out there. I know that alone is a lot of information, but I just wanted to say it because I think most people think that they're making decisions based on what's happening with them right now. And I want to just throw in there that a lot of times we make decisions not on what actually is happening before us, but what happened a long time ago. And then we kind of use the same style, or we use the same emotional pattern to do that. So I'm just throwing that in there. You can decide if you like that or not, or want to follow it, but I just want you to keep an open mind when we're talking about this. So here are some things that's really helped me, knowing my emotional patterns, what I used to survive my childhood, and get to where I am now, and what helped me to maybe take a little step away emotionally from what was before me and look at the process of how I made decisions. So the first thing I wanted to say is I want you to give yourself some space. And one way to do that is to ask the question to yourself, what if I can't get this wrong? In other words, not if I get this wrong, it's horrible, but what if there's no possible way for me to get this wrong? Like whatever decision I make, it's going to be okay. So just ponder that. I know it's really hard for some of you to even consider that a decision that you're making can't go wrong or be disastrous. And what I'm saying is a lot of times, either way, it's going to be okay. Really, it's not all life and death decisions. Some are going to be more important than others or feel more important than others. But in general, when you're making decisions, if you can come out with the attitude of, what if I couldn't get this wrong? What would I do? Sometimes that just helps you relax a little bit. It may feel a little weird to relax around decisions. But what if I can't get it wrong? What if whatever direction I take, it's going to be okay? Ooh, that was interesting. I'm going to let that go. I don't know if that was a sign or anything, but anyway, my book just fell off the shelf. So here, let's just do a little exercise, very small, and just close your eyes and take a breath. And put your hand on your heart. And ask yourself, what if I can't get this wrong? No matter what I pick, it's going to be okay. I'll navigate through it. And I may even be pleasantly surprised. You never know. And let that just sit there with you for a little bit. Notice what your body does. You can hear the bird in the background. So just doing that sometimes before making a decision helps relax your body, relax your mind. You get out of the fight or flight or freeze. And maybe you're able to see some more options for you, or that the options before you are not all disastrous. The next strategy I want to discuss is giving yourself grace. So first, you're giving yourself space for goodness to come in. And the next strategy is to give yourself grace. Grace in being wrong or changing your mind. And being able to respond in a way that's more empowered. So if you find yourself a person who does a lot of second guessing, I used to do a lot of that. Every once in a while I still do it, but not as much as I used to. I used to second guess myself all the time. So for those out there who feel that way, this is a good time to pay attention. If you tend to second guess yourself or berate yourself for second guessing yourself, it's useful to know perhaps why you do that. You may have a belief around this decision or decision making in general that may be keeping you in this sort of second guessing, self-doubting space. And I found that there are usually two things going on for me, one of two things that kept me in that second guessing. One was that somehow the decision I made was going to be wrong. So, or it was going to be less beneficial to me. I was going to get less or have less opportunity, or in some way it was going to be a screw up for me. And now we know, what if you can't get it wrong? So you can apply that. And the second one was that being wrong or getting less must be avoided at all cost. So tell me if you grew up this way. If you were ever wrong, you were meant to feel like something was wrong with you, that you were bad. If you made a mistake, it was not greeted with excitement and enthusiasm. It was condemned, or, do better next time. You better do better next time. So if you grew up either in an environment like that, or you did that to yourself, this is where second guessing comes from, is that you have to get it absolutely right and perfect. And if you don't, there's something wrong with you. And then it goes right into, there is something wrong with me, and I don't want to be reminded of that. And I hate making these decisions, and that's why I'm constantly second guessing myself. So if that feels like familiar to you, I just want to remind you that sometimes mistakes are going to be made. Sometimes you're going to go down roads that are cul-de-sacs that lead nowhere, and you're going to have to circle around and come back. Sometimes you're going to make decisions that cause some pain to you or others. And I know that no one wants to do that, but sometimes that happens for a reason, and you learn from it. There's something that you glean from it. I know I've made tons of decisions that were maybe not considered the best decisions, but I learned a lot from them. Even when, I got hurt, or I hurt someone else, or I lost money, or I made someone mad, or I got mad at myself. So I just want you to know it's okay to not be right all the time. In fact, I would say we're not right a lot of the time, even when we think we are. There's always new information out there. There's always a bigger view that we can't see. So it's okay to make mistakes and be wrong. And why I put them in quotes is because oftentimes what we think is wrong turns out to be an amazing lesson for us, an amazing learning. Not all the time, and sometimes there are things that go wrong that we could maybe never justify in our lives. But a lot of times I've gotten it wrong, and I've learned so much. It made me more humble, and made me have a deeper understanding for other people. It helped me stop judging people so much, because I realized, hey, I'm not perfect. I make decisions all the time that are not, the coolest decisions, but I learn from them. And then I'm able to have empathy for others. So you're not here to avoid being wrong. I just want to let you know. If you're here to avoid anything, then a lot of times that's what keeps us stuck. So if you can be open and embrace all of what's going to happen in your life, whether it seems to be right or wrong. So I just want to say that. The next thing I want to talk about is how to give yourself support, both physically, mentally, and emotionally in decision making. And by doing that, what I mean is, when you have a decision, it's an opportunity to come to center and to relax. So usually when people have big decisions to make, they start to get really stressed, right? And the last thing they do is come to center. The last thing they do is want to be grounded. The last thing they want to start grabbing and reaching for different pieces of information, or talking to different people. I used to be a person who did that a lot. I would call 20 of my friends before I made a decision. And sometimes it helped me a little bit. Sometimes I just went with the last person, whatever they sent to me. And sometimes it just made me more confused. But ultimately it had to be my decision, and I couldn't put it off on anyone else. So what I decided to do is use the decision as an opportunity to be grounded and centered. In other words, instead of connecting it with stress, I decided to connect it with relaxation. And so a lot of times when I have decisions to make, whether they seem really big to me or small, I try to find a quiet space to sit and close my eyes and do a little centering breath and put my hand on my heart and Sometimes I'm waiting for kind of an intuitive hit on something. Sometimes I'm just thinking about the things, and sometimes I'm processing all of the emotions that are coming up with the decision. So what we're going to do today, here's the second exercise we're going to do. And so I want you to close your eyes again and sit in your chair and take in a few breaths in through the nose, extending your belly, exhaling through your mouth. Do that a couple of times. And just notice your body settling in a little bit. You can put your hand on your heart and your belly if you want. And just notice how your body's feeling stress or tension anywhere. And if it is, just put your hand there and imagine light coming from your hand to that place, loving light. And you can even say, I'm so sorry you're suffering. I love you. And then when you're ready, just bring in the situation or the relationship that you're making a decision on, the event. Just bring it in until you feel whatever you feel about it. And when you feel that, whatever that's tension or stress, doubt, helplessness, despair, I want you to take the decision itself and just put it on the shelf and just feel the emotion, feel the sensations that come up. So if you're feeling tension, feel the sensation of tension in your body. Notice where it resides. Give it some love. Maybe you're feeling despair, a weight of despair or helplessness. Maybe you're feeling overwhelmed, doubt. Just allow yourself to feel it in your body. Don't feed it anymore with the situation. Just feel it in your body. Notice what the sensations feel like. Is it fluttering? Is it a heaviness? Is it a tightness? Whatever it feels. You can send it love. A lot of times I say, I'm so sorry. I love you. So sorry you've been hanging on to this so long. It must be exhausting. And then when you sit there, just feel it. And just notice what happens. It could be that it becomes more intense. You feel more. It could be that it kind of neutralizes or dissolves. It could be that nothing happens. Just notice, give yourself a few minutes. Sometimes I give myself 5 or 10 minutes. Sometimes I sit in the backyard with the birds. You can hear the birds. Put my hand there. And then you can ask yourself, if you're ready, if you feel like that those emotions have kind of dissipated a little bit, bring the decision back and see if it feels any clearer to you. It may not, but try that a few times and see what happens as you process the emotions, which is what you're doing by feeling them, and then asking the question again. So I hope these tips were helpful to you. I hope you use them. if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me, and that can be through my email. You can go right to my website, becomingawake.com. And I wanted to tell you before we end that I'm having another free event. It is another free masterclass. This one goes for an hour and a half, and it's called From Chaos to Calm Clarity. And I'm very excited to present this masterclass because it really focuses on any situation, relationship, health thing, wealth, whatever, any idea you have. And it's a process through which you look at it, kind of take it apart a little bit, apply some processes to it so that the decision you make at the end of the process feels really good to you. It feels empowering, and you're in that calm clarity versus the chaos. So it's a way of bringing some sense and understanding to what's going on with you in a clear way. It opens up horizons. It gives you new options you maybe never even thought of. And then you're able to take your next steps with it. And it's a tool and a process you can use over and over and over again. That's the great thing, is that in this free masterclass, you're going to get the tool, the process, and you can leave with it and use it forever and ever. Or I also have something I'm going to be talking about how to use it and enhance it in the coming months. So I have 2 free master classes just on that. One is on July 18th, 7 p.m. Eastern time. And then on the 26th, which is the Tuesday after that at noon. And I'll be talking about the program that, if you want to join up, starts in August. So if you like this masterclass and you want to bring it to the next level, and want to go for a little more time and this whole process that I have, come join me for those free masterclasses, either on the 18th or on the 26th of July. And you can sign up for them literally by just going to becomingawake.com, and you click on events. They're both listed on the website. It's an easy sign up, and it's completely free. So I hope you had a good experience here. And if you ever want to get in touch with me, go to becomingawake.com. I also do free 20 to 30 minute calls. I call calm mom calls, where we talk about what's going on with us, and then you decide how to proceed from there, whether we work together or there's someone else I can get to help you with your situation. So I hope this has been a great masterclass for you. Please send me any questions or comments. And don't forget to sign up for my free masterclass From Chaos to Calm Clarity in July. And I hope you have a great day. Take care, everyone.